It was a gray, damp morning in Birmingham. The kind where even the sky seemed too tired to show up. Adam Harper lay in bed, the laptop open on his chest, its screen blank, cursor blinking like it was judging him. Around him, plates from yesterday's takeaway, a half-drunk bottle of Coke, and clothes he never got around to folding. He hadn't replied to emails in days. Job applications piled up in a separate folder, unopened. "I'll start tomorrow," he had told himself. For weeks now. But every tomorrow bled into another wasted day. He didn't feel sick. He didn't feel sad. He just didn't feel anything. It wasn't the kind of laziness people joked about. It was something deeper, heavier, like being trapped underwater while life rushed past above. Everyone online seemed to have a solution. Wake up at 5 a.m. Cold showers. Gym. Hustle. But none of that worked. The more he tried, the more exhausted he felt. Until one night, while scrolling mindlessly, he stumbled across a video. Grainy footage. Hardly 300 views. Just a monk in blue robes sitting quietly under a tree. The title read, "You're not lazy, you're disconnected." The video lasted 3 minutes. No fancy editing. Just one line spoken in a calm, steady voice. Laziness is the cry of a soul that's forgotten its rhythm. Adam didn't know why, but that sentence hit something buried inside him. It didn't scream. It didn't preach. It just understood. 2 weeks later, without telling anyone, he booked a flight to Thailand. The monastery was high in the hills of Chiang Mai, hidden behind dense trees and silence. It wasn't on Google Maps. A tuk-tuk dropped him near a dirt road, and from there he walked. No signs. No tourists. Just a quiet stillness that felt unfamiliar yet comforting. He arrived at what Niran Dharma, a place untouched by the rush of the world. There, sitting beneath an ancient Bodhi tree, was the monk from the video. Thin, serene, with robes not saffron but deep blue, like twilight before the stars. His name was Niran. He didn't ask why Adam had come. He simply nodded, as if he already knew. "I feel lost," Adam finally said. "I think I'm lazy." The monk looked at him with soft, unreadable eyes and replied, "You are not lazy. You are unaligned." And with that, Adam's journey began. He was given a mat in a bamboo hut. No bed, no mirror, no distractions. At 4 a.m., a bell rang. Meditation began before sunrise. They ate once a day, rice, fruit, and water, before noon. There was no talking. No internet. No escape. Adam's legs hurt from sitting cross-legged. His stomach ached. His mind screamed. But worst of all was the silence. It forced him to hear his own thoughts, thoughts he'd buried beneath distractions for years. On the 6th night, while staring up at the moon, he broke. Tears came quietly, like rain you don't notice until your shirt is soaked. "I don't know who I am anymore," he whispered into the dark. Niran sat beside him, unnoticed until then, and said softly, "Talking. No internet. No escape." Adam's legs hurt from sitting cross-legged. His stomach ached. His mind screamed. But worst of all was the silence. It forced him to hear his own thoughts, thoughts he'd buried beneath distractions for years. On the 6th night, while staring up at the moon, he broke. Tears came quietly, like rain you don't notice until your shirt is soaked. "I don't know who I am anymore," he whispered into the dark. Niran sat beside him, unnoticed until then, and said softly, "When the flame flickers, it doesn't mean it's gone, it means it needs air." From that night, something shifted. Adam no longer meditated because he was told to. He did it because it gave him space. He started noticing small things, the way leaves danced in the wind, the way silence had its own sound. One morning, Niran handed him a small shovel and led him to a broken path in the garden. "Build it," he said, "1 stone a day." Adam blinked. "But I'm not a builder," Niran smiled. "You are not. Your job. You are. Your patience." For the next 2 weeks, Adam carried stones. Some days under scorching sun, other days in soft drizzle. Each stone he laid felt like a conversation with himself. 1 stone for the boy who never felt enough. One for the man who forgot to rest, one for every morning spent in bed, not because he didn't care but because he didn't know how to begin. Slowly, something changed. Not overnight. Not dramatically. But deeply. There was no grand moment. No cinematic breakthrough. By the time the path was complete, Adam wasn't new. He was whole. Nairan stood with him, looking at the stone walkway. What you built is not just a path here, he said, it's the one inside you. When Adam returned to the UK, nothing outside had changed. Same flat, same inbox, same grey mornings. But inside, everything was different. He didn't check his phone the moment he woke up. He didn't fight the clock. He made tea slowly. Wrote down one small intention a day. And he whispered the same thing to himself each morning, 1 stone today. That's enough. He didn't suddenly become a millionaire. He didn't become wildly productive. But he became peaceful, present. People around him asked what happened out there, and he'd smile and say, I stopped trying to run away from myself, because that's the truth. Most of us aren't lazy, we're exhausted from pretending, disconnected from what makes us come alive. We call it laziness, but often it's grief in disguise, a whisper from the soul saying, please come home. So if you're listening to this, lying in bed, staring at your screen, feeling like a failure, I want you to know something. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are simply waiting to remember who you are. And maybe today, you don't need to climb a mountain. Maybe you just need to lay 1 stone. Just one. That's enough.